Hey, so Ayaka got the waifu treatment. Now I'll explain what I mean by that in a sec, but she is absolutely ridiculous as a unit. Now from this video you'd probably expect me to be like, oh, just use Kaya and Chongyun, that is your free-to-play version of Ayaka. Well, it's not even close. Ayaka just has so much in her kit mechanically that she just blows everything out of the water. Now the most unique thing about her is going to be her charged attack, which for some reason is not explained anywhere in her kit. She has a unique property with it that's not explained at all, but basically what her charge attack is an AoE charge attack, which if any enemy is in that AoE, they will get hit by a separate entity of a charge attack. So basically, if there are 4 enemies within range, she will do 4 charge attacks, 1 on each enemy. That's ridiculous, and it's not explained anywhere, and I don't know why, because I feel like it's a pretty big selling point as to what Ayaka is as a character, because her only comparison basically is Keqing, who is more of a single target DPS. Technically her charge attack is an AoE as well, but it's not focused to be an AoE. Ayaka's is. I don't know if 4 is the highest number that you can have. It might be able to go up to 5, I don't know what the max is, but the highest that I could get was 4, and that AoE is so big, her charge attack will home in on an opponent and hit them with a charge attack. That is crazy. That's so stupid that no other character does, and I don't know why it's not mentioned. But like I said, her comparison is going to be a Keqing, but Keqing is kind of like a Gen 1 version of Ayaka. I do really feel like we're moving into Gen 2 of 5-star characters. It could be that, or it could just be her getting the waifu treatment, I don't know, but she is absolutely ridiculous, and I really do feel like we're moving into Gen 2, because when you look at her skill, her elemental skill on surface level just seems pretty basic, like, oh, it does cryo damage in an AoE around her, it launches up enemies, but it just does damage, and you're not wrong, but it generates 4 to 5 energy on a 10-second cooldown. That is absolutely ridiculous, because as far as I know, the only other character that generates 4 to 5 energy is Xingqiu, but his elemental skill is on a 21-second cooldown, so it makes sense that he would generate so much energy because it has such a long cooldown. But Ayaka generates the exact same energy at half the cooldown. What? Mihoyo, what? Can you explain that? Can you honestly explain that? But other than the fact that we're moving into Gen 2, that this is going to be the new norm? Of course we don't know, we'll have to wait until Yoimiya to figure that out, but it definitely feels like we're moving in that direction. The fact that she can even do that, so much energy for no reason at 10, that's ridiculous. And then we move on to her ult. As if the other two were already like ridiculous mechanically broken, her ult is absolutely broken. It is an 80 cost ult, so it makes sense that it's going to be strong, but it sends out a blizzard for 5 seconds, which honestly not really that long, but it is still pretty long, especially when you consider the fact that the DPS on her ult is absolutely crazy. The amount of ticks that it has within that 1 second, within those 5 seconds, is so huge. It constantly hits enemies, and that's not even accounting for the fact that it explodes at the end, dealing even more damage. Like, that is so ridiculous. And if that wasn't ridiculous enough, it staggers. Every single hit of her ult will stagger an enemy as long as they can actually be staggered. So mid churls can be staggered, law churls can be staggered, primo bishops can be staggered, regular bishop hatchlings can be staggered. It will stagger them constantly. You'll see it a couple times in the video here, but every single hit will stagger. So as long as you stagger it once while they're in that AoE, they're going to get staggered. That is ridiculous, and no other character has that aside from it being combined with an elemental reaction like electrocharge or overload or something like that. Then they can do that, but she does it by herself. What is that? It's like, I can understand her kit being like ridiculous if her multipliers were low, but they're not. Her multipliers are still pretty good. Her normal attack and charge attack at level 8 are pretty on par with a level 10 Keqing. Explain that, Mihoyo? What? And although I didn't even mention that her elemental skill buffs up her normal and charge attack by 30%, literally for free because of her Ascension talent, just like that. Not 10%, not 20%, not a reasonable number. 30%. 30% for no reason. What? And then her dash just gives her extra cryo damage for literally no reason. What is this character? That being said, she is just basically a DPS character, so from a free-to-play perspective, they are all going to be DPS characters. That's always going to get power crept. Ayaka is basically like the flavor of the month. I would say she doesn't really have anything special about her that makes you like want to pull for her, like, oh, I need to pull with this character. But like, if you have a Ganyu, there's no reason to pull Ayaka. If you want to pull for Ayaka, there's no reason to pull for Ganyu. Because honestly, I feel like Ayaka just completely blows Ganyu out of the water. Like, is there any reason now that Ayaka exists to use Ganyu? The only thing I can think of is like single target damage, Maybe Ganyu has more, I don't know. But on surface level, it feels like Ayaka just completely invalidates Ganyu as a DPS, because everything that you can do with Ganyu, you can do with Ayaka, but sometimes better. So I don't really know. But if you don't have a cryo DPS and you want one, Ayaka is probably going to be one of the best ones that you can have. If you want her for freeze comps, if you want her as an enabler for meld comps, you can do that with her. Like I said, anything you do with Ganyu, you can do with her. But realistically, she is just another DPS. There's nothing special about her. I would say like you can skip her like pretty freely. There is going to be another DPS around the corner, especially with the precedent that she is putting. However, she could just be an outlier, in which case we don't know yet. We'll just have to see what happens with Yoimiya. But if she is the new baseline, she's very easily skippable, but she could just be like a fluke for whatever reason. Then I would say you can go for her. But if you like her, you were going to pull for her anyway. If you're chasing meta, if you didn't pull Eula, you're not going to pull for Ayaka. If Eula didn't tempt you, Ayaka's not going to do anything for you. So there's that. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hope you're having a fantastic day. Like and subscribe if you want. I would really appreciate it. Tickle my bell if you want. And I will see you in the next one where we'll actually talk about the Inazuma weapons this time, because I need to craft them. Don't know how long that's going to take, but we'll see.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.